Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be focusing on Chapter 6 in the Rhetorical Act as well as Chapter 6 in the Reading Pop Culture. Chapter 6, we will begin with the Rhetorical Act. It is about the resources of memorization as well as the resources of language. And they talk about how these different resources help the progress of writers. And then in Reading Pop Culture, we will talk about the cause and effect between movies. In the first Reading Pop Culture essay written by Susan Sontag, it's called The Imagination of Disaster. She focuses on the scientific genre of fiction, where she also discusses how audiences view disasters. She explains how science fiction films are not one of the most accomplished of the popular art forms and gives a great deal of pleasure for sophisticated film addicts. Science fiction films are about disaster, not science. These films draw the audience into a circle of complicity with all the things being represented, which means that the audience members have to be actively listening and engaged with the film in order to fully understand and comprehend what is happening in the movie. The fantasy in which these films grasp on the audiences causes a reaction of full engagements in these films of scientific disaster. In the second essay by Oscar Wilde, Hollywood's Love Affair with Surveillance, he focuses on the portrayal of surveillance that can affect Americans in different ways. He discusses the effects by using two films, RoboCop and Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and the extreme use of surveillance in these two films. First, he discusses Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and he explains how it shows the audience that they're watching hundreds of millions of dollars being spent on 30 plots within the whole movie. In the third essay by Denby, which is titled Has Hollywood Murdered the Movies?, he focuses on how the movie industry is crumbling. His main point in the chapter is discussing how directors are making the mistake of targeting the younger audiences and basically dulling the overall movies and taking away from the points of older society. So basically he's saying that these film directors are targeting younger audiences and just making the movies more boring and more action-packed to attract more of the younger audiences. He expresses how the movie industry is a wearing, numbing, infuriating, sameness of cycle of American releases year after year. He says that this is the reason what people need to start realizing in order to save the movie industry. The American movies are a terrible crisis which will not end soon if not realized. The final essay by Content Marketing Association, it's not really an essay, more of a graph in a way, but they're titling it 7 Steps to the Perfect Story, and it explains what an individual needs to do in order to obtain the perfect story. They wrote it in a simple characterized diagram, like I said, with captions to express the steps. They include understanding the story, choosing your plot, choosing your hero, choosing your characters, observing the rule of threes, choosing your media, and observing the golden rule. They explain how even if you miss one of these steps, how can you possibly achieve the perfect story? And I will show you the chart that they created, and it shows you exactly what you need to follow in order to be successful in the film industry. So at the end of chapter 6, it has the 7 steps, and the next page shows you with little diagrams and little pictures. So this is the first step, this is the second step, third step, fourth step, fifth step, and sixth step, and the 7th step. So understanding your story, it just goes over the typical have a problem, a middle, an end, but you need to have the beginning, conflict, and growth, so it has a transformation in the middle and the closure. And then choose your plot. You can either have, rags to riches, the quest, voyage and return, just kind of something with that theme and a plot that you can follow. And then choosing your hero, so you'll have a willing hero, unwilling hero, cynical anti-hero, all of these you can choose from. Then you choose your characters, the fool, the shadow, the animal, stuff like that. You just choose with. And then 5th one is observe the rules of threes. So they just kind of give you examples like the 3 Little Pigs, the 3 Stooges, 3 Billy Goats, Gruff, stuff like that. And then 6 is choose your media, whether that's dance, print, theater, film, music, web, etc. And then the 7th one is observe the golden rule. So it's don't give the audience 4, give them 2 plus 2. But yeah, they use that to tell you what you need to do in order to create the perfect story. So that was chapter 6 of Reading Pop Culture and the Rhetorical Act. Come back next week for the next chapters in these 2 books.